Hello there. We haven't made some progress since the last time. We can mark this off the list. We've also added some other things to that list, but I'll get to them in a second. This is the coal power plant now. It is running, providing us with plenty of power. And I don't know how it looks from some of the views out there, that view especially. I have been up there and you can see a lot from there, but I haven't been up there since I finished this. But I really like how it came together. And you can see the beans there. They're also checking it out, inspecting it to make sure everything is good. But there we are. So, we're going to do a little tour of it. I just want to get some other views. Get out of the fog a little bit, that helps clear things up. But yeah, this is, we've actually explored a lot of this area. There's still more to grab, but I did go back and get all of the artifacts. But yeah, here's the coal plant. I am curious to see how it looks from below. I might change that a little bit. I'm looking at that now and I don't quite like it. It just juts out too specifically, and then the window top looks maybe a little awkward. But otherwise, I'm liking this. I think it came together very well. I do need to throw in some signs, especially at the entrance. We're going to do a tour of the inside in a second. You can see here, that is not operational yet. And that is intentional, because we're not sending any coal out right now. But I do see a world in which we would, because one, it's very good at powering our vehicles, but two, is that this coal plant, I don't think it's going to last forever. We'll have to see. We'll have to get to some of the later things, but I don't know that it'll last forever. But yeah, here's the coal plant, and really like how it came together. We've got this great view over this crater with the waterfalls. Use a lot of natural lighting on the inside. Oh, don't turn off my flashlight. We don't need that here. I might tidy up some of the cables a little bit. I'm still not 100% sold on what I did with them, but they can be a little tricky to get right without doing certain other things, which I might do, but it's a little tricky. Doing this whole curve was a lot more work. It made this take a lot longer than I expected a curve would cause. It just makes some things very difficult. It also causes that more often. Oh, we're just going to ignore it though. But yeah, I mean, it looks really great with the curve, but boy, does it take a lot more work than you would like. Here's our main things. You can even hear, one of the great things about the design of this game is if you listen closely, the pitch of the coal generators is different. And I'll move on to the other ones so you can hear those. But the pitch is different, and that is very cool design on the game designer's part. And they're different because these are overclocked. And because they're overclocked, because they're running faster, they make a higher pitch, which is a really cool thing to include by the designers of the game. But yeah, this is our facility. Got our miners running their resources below, being distributed out for a reason. Sometimes it gets distributed out in a weird way, like that one runs here instead of sharing it with these refineries because of that guy. But yeah, this is how it all turned out, and I do like overlapping windows on curves. They get this cool like breaking up of the frame. It's really nice. That even turned out to be good. Normally clipping can look kind of rough, but this is, it does up there, but in a lot of places this turned out good. And I decided to use the extra space to put these power storage units, so we got a lot of power storage in case we kind of overbuild and end up using too many resources too quickly. It gives everything an opportunity to back up before. Okay, you can just hear there that difference between the two coal generators. So cool. I have these little walkways up here. You can walk down. Got large arching ceilings, very much like a warehouse kind of feel, but not just a box. Like I said, it takes a long time to make anything on a curve. Mostly sorting out the foundations. The foundations weren't too hard. I was able to figure out those, but getting the roof taken care of when I can't fly, that's tricky. And then figuring out how to place buildings on the curve, like this here. Didn't quite turn out as well as I'd liked, but it's good enough. And those are just there for a little bit of extra value in this. But yeah, this is the coal plant. I'm gonna put up some signs, maybe like something on this pillar, and then something outside by the entrance, because the entrance does look rather bare. But also just standing here next to these, you can see just how big they are. Everything in this game is just huge. And so we have to build a building that's just as big. And I'd call that a success here. But yeah, and like I said, this is kind of future-proofing and just kind of leaving it there to have something at the entrance. But yeah, there we go. That is the coal plant. Now I'm gonna need to move this guy. He's not in the right spot, but that'll be easy enough to do. But yeah, there we go. So next up on the to-do list, I did add something to our to-do list. It is no longer copper tower. It's actually going to be the limestone tower. And I actually might even go over some blueprint recipes before I do that. But it basically comes down to, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to manufacture for a lot of things. I think the first thing of building the towers is just going to build the base floor where we do the basic refining, like turning them into ingots, because that I'm fairly confident about. But the tower I'm most confident about, because some of the other ones, there's a lot of different things we can do with iron. A lot of it's going to go towards making steel, but we're going to have extra. Does it go towards copper? Do I just use it to make some of the other parts anyway, which I'll get into when I get into blueprints. But limestone, I was absolutely certain what I'm doing with limestone. It is make concrete. We're going to be making a lot of concrete with limestone. We're going to make as much concrete as we can with the limestone. And if we don't have enough for all of the coal recipes, because if we look at our parts list and we look at all of our alternate recipes with regards to steel, we have steel beams, which we have an alternate recipe that uses concrete, steel pipe with an alternate recipe that uses concrete, and encased industrial beam, which just at its base rate uses concrete. So we're going to be using a lot of concrete, and we're going to need to be ready for that. We also, there's some alternate recipes for like quartz and stuff that use concrete. That is all tempting. We will see. Yeah, all the things concrete, and we're going to make a bunch of steel pipe That is the next thing that I'm certain we're going to need a bunch of, because we also have an alternative encased recipe. I haven't added it yet. That allows us to make, it's this one. It allows us to make encased industrial beams from pipe instead of steel beams, which saves us a bunch. But it means we need more steel pipe. So probably the next one will be probably talking about the recipes, but it might just be working on the limestone tower, which will also have a port like this in case we need more, and it's going to take up a lot of space because this game is a very large scale game, very big. But anyway, that is it for today. Got our plant here. It's complete. We made progress on a very large build, and they're only going to be as big as this, if not bigger, going forward. But hopefully they take a bit less time. That is all for today. See you next time.